that the Christ is just the spirit, because Elijah was a spirit that came online through John the Baptist. So, and if Jesus is directly paralleling himself, saying the same thing is to happen to the Son of Man, talking about himself, then he knows that the spirit of Elijah is the same thing as the spirit of the Christ. It's just the spirit, and it's not a person, So now we have another one to connect this Elijah character. Now, Matthew 11. Let's turn to Matthew 11. Yeah, that was Matthew 17. So let's turn to Matthew 11. Being as soon as I turn it see, look, that's how awesome the spirit is. As soon as I turn it, I'm on Matthew 11. Look at this. Matthew 11, 9 through 15. Right? Is it 9? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Matthew 11, 9 through 15. Wow. Yeah. Now this is Jesus. This is Jesus talking again. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I say to you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of who it is written, behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. Assuredly I say to you, among those born of women, there has not risen one greater than John the Baptist. But he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and all the law prophesied unto John. And if you are willing to receive it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Look at it. Verse 14. Those are very key verses. And if you are willing to receive it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. There you go, right there, man. About this Elijah. And that's Jesus talking about Elijah. Assuredly I say to you, none has risen greater than John the Baptist. There you go. Now, and that's Christ talking, man. All these verses was, a lot of these verses, these Christ are Christ talking. And I want to. It always says, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. See, they must have knew that at the time that this knowledge would really, really surface, that people would hate knowledge. That people would turn down knowledge, that people would shun knowledge, that people would shun the light, and people would hate light, and people would rather hear bullshit and entertainment and watch reality shows, and be engulfed in mind controlling politics, rather than seek truth and listen to one another. Understand that true education is us listening to one another. So it's this constant theme. It's this constant theme through Matthew that says, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." And it constantly is being said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." In Matthew 13, verses 9, it says, "He who has ear to hear, let him hear." In verse 43, it says it again, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." In Matthew 11, verse 15, it says it again, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Knowing that people were going to be ignorant to this truth whenever it would truly surface. Do you understand? Now, Matthew 15, verse 14. Matthew chapter 15. Let's turn to Matthew chapter 15, and once again, this is how beautiful the Spirit is. I just flip once and I'm there, man. You know what I'm saying? Matthew chapter 15, verse 14, man. It says, "Let them alone. They are blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind leads the blind, both will fall into a ditch." Matthew 15, verse 14. "Let them alone. They are blind leaders of the blind. If the blind leads the blind, they will fall into a ditch." Now, that's why I've named this lecture passionately entitled "Ask Your Pastor," because if your pastor can't answer these questions, man, you know what I'm saying, then why are you there? Why are you there? Do you understand it? Understand the English language. Know that the word pulpit came from the meaning of pulling you into the pit. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of your pastors don't even know this. You know, a lot of y'all pastors are good meaning people, but some of y'all pastors are hustlers, man. Just straight up damn hustlers. You know what I'm saying? They know that this shit is bullshit. They know it's another level to this, but see, they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge to facilitate. Yeah. They don't have the knowledge to facilitate the change. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, they'll stay at this level, because it's all about getting that money. No, and it's a business, unfortunately, and that is the greatest, that is the greatest. That's one of the greatest sins. That's one of the greatest sins, because ultimately they're not embracing change, you know, and a lot of them know what I'm saying is the truth, A lot of them know what I'm saying is the truth. Yeah, man. The blind leading the blind, and they say you'll end up in the ditch, man. And if your pastor can't answer these questions, that's why I say ask your pastor. And if your pastor, has any if he wants reference to where you getting all this from, tell him, this guy Prophet Williams, man, we can chop it up, man. I chop it over any of your pastors, man, any of them. You know what I'm saying? Any of them, because y'all are mine, and I don't want your money. You know what I'm saying? We the true church. We're the true church. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want your money, man. Y'all money ain't good here. You know, we gotta learn to spend money with each other. We gotta learn to put ideas together. We gotta learn to put this money together. And we gotta understand what's really going on, man. You know, one more. One more. I just want to point y'all to before we go. Turn to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. All right, check this out. Right, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. All right. Where's Ephesians? Am I tripping? Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. Ain't that so? I know y'all probably already there, man. I'm sorry, man. My bad on taking 1,000 hours to get here, man. Yeah. Yeah. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5, man. Here you go. Slaves, be obedient to those who are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in sincerity of the heart, as to Christ, as you would Christ. Not with eye service as man pleasers, but as bond service of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will and service to the Lord. There you go, man. There you go. Slaves, be obedient to your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in sincerity of the heart, as you would Christ. So, there you go, man. That's where you have all the mind warping, and the Bible also tells you to forgive, you know what I'm saying, and all this bullshit. You got to understand what forgiving is. Forgiving is to eradicate the debt, and that's why, you'll ultimately never, I mean, I ain't gonna say never, but you'll ultimately, have a true hard time, wrapping your, embracing and understanding the concept of what these motherfuckers owe us, or what these white people owe us, man, and of what the world owes us, what we owe ourselves and what we owe our ancestors. Because you've been taking this foolish doctrine, without studying around it, without you just believed it. It no longer in 2013 is it acceptable to just believe this book. Do you understand? You must study around it. You must study the history of it, because ultimately he didn't lie. Ultimately, the guy didn't lie. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't say Jesus' version. It don't say God's version. It don't say the original version. It said, damn it, my version. It's King James goddamn version. This how I want the shit. This how I want it to be said. You understand? And like I say, I try to excuse my expression, But what's going on is just it's pure insanity. So people must be woken up, snapped on, angered if need be. You know what I'm saying? You know, but at the end of the day, my objective is to get you to damn think about this shit. I ain't trying to be a friend. I'm not your friend. You understand? I'm not your friend. Until you understand what's really going on. You know, nah. Well, I ain't here to make friends. I'm here to speak truth, and I'm here to bond with like minds, and we here to build something new and establish the kingdom. You understand? Yeah, man. So, with all that being said, there you have it. There you have it. Ask your pastor. Ask your pastor. Ask your pastor why. Why. We all are familiar with Cain and Abel. We all are familiar with Cain and Abel. So ask your pastor, why is God such a murderous God? Why is God such a war God? I mean, the Bible is nothing but war doctrine. Understand this. The Bible is nothing but war doctrine. Ephesians is a war. Is Ephesians chapter 6. Read Ephesians chapter 6 if you don't believe me. If you don't believe me when I say that this is war doctrine, read the whole Ephesians chapter 6. Just understand that this is a true war doctrine. On a psychological, spiritual, and physical level. And it's the history of war. And like I was going to say, ask your pastor. Like I said, we're all familiar with Cain and Abel. So ask your pastor why. Why does he have? Why in the Bible? A king. After the King James. I mean after Cain and Abel. God wasn't with Cain and Abel. God didn't condone that shit. God didn't endorse that or none of that. So how after Cain and Abel do you get God telling motherfuckers to kill? If you don't follow my law, you die. You know what I'm saying? How do you get that in the rest of the Old Testament? God striking everybody if they don't follow his law. How do you get that? How does that happen? These are obviously two different gods. Yeah. There you go right there. And we are gods. Ye are gods. You understand? John chapter 10, verse 34 through 36. Read that. And get back at me. That's Jesus talking. And Psalms 82, verse 6 and 7. Read that. And get back at me, baby. Like I say, this whole joint, this whole time, I was gonna be spitting scripture at you because I ain't want to hear nobody like, oh, like I said, I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I love you, and I don't want nobody to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Point me to. Point me to some references so I can study. So I can ground myself in understanding if I'm wrong. Because we don't want nobody being wrong. So hopefully that'll motivate some people to go. Study the things that I just said. It's a little reverse psychology. I don't know if y'all just caught that. It's your boy Prophet Williams, man. Like I said, I love y'all. Thinking about you, because there's no me without you. There's no you without me. And this is true education, man. Us listening and tuning in to each other. You know what I'm saying? And building relationships, building trust relationships. Understand that nothing is more valuable than that. And you can't put a price on that. Until black people stop having a price, God ain't respecting none of this shit we got going on, man. I'm telling y'all. That's why I can walk in any Bible study and I can tell them God ain't hearing nothing that y'all talking about because we lazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? You look at all these people that are coming in the community, all these people that are coming to America getting rich. Guess how they're getting rich? They're getting rich off of you, getting rich off of us, getting rich off of niggas, off of black people. You know what I'm saying? Off of the African in America. They're getting rich off of us. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking up anything special. They're coming right to the hood and they're making, they're making hot Atlantas and American delis, and they're getting in the gas stations, and they're getting hair stores and they're getting nail stores. You know what I'm saying? This thing ain't rocket science, man. This shit only going down because we being lazy. You know what I'm saying? And God ain't respecting that shit. You know. And then y'all going up, we going up in church every Sunday talking about we know God. You got 8 churches on one damn strip. You got 8 churches on Sherland Drive, and ain't none of y'all speaking, claiming to know God, and claiming to have a better praise team, and a better this and a better that, and we just have a better feel around here. What kind of, what makes your praise any better than another church, or what makes any church praise better than me just sitting here on my back porch blessing one to the Creator, and giving Him all of my, and tithing myself to the Spirit, and to the oneness. You know what I'm saying? We have to we have to break the monotony, of our way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand the true backwardness and the insanity that we're breeding into these kids, man. So this is just a challenge, man. Just a challenge for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just a challenge for everybody to refresh themselves, renew themselves, and re-educate ourselves and redefine ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And there you have it, man. It's Prophet Williams, man. Like I say, I believe in you, and I know what you can do. I know what I can do. So therefore, I know the potential of the situation. Seriously. Yeah, man. So, we gotta come together and we gotta understand this thing, man. I love you. Prophet Williams. God bless. Creator bless. Universe bless. Bless. To all the gods and goddesses. Be safe. Pray that y'all enjoy this message, man. Love, boy, Prophet Will, man. Chill.